Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I am back. It has been around 2 years since my last video. I'm very excited to have found the time and enough energy to put my 100% onto the videos upcoming for my YouTube channel. I will be showing you this video on easy, quick press-ons that you can do in your own home by yourself. No need of being any type of nail artist or nail professional. These I got from Amazon. I will be linking them in my Amazon storefront, or you can just go on Amazon and type in the name and look them up. They have different sizes, styles, colors. They are on the thinner side. They're not as thick as what I'm used to using, but they are thin because they need to be able to cure any type of gel or polygel underneath it. These are press-ons for your toes. These are amazing. I used one set last year and I used just nail glue and they lasted me all summer. So I'm excited to use these, but with polygel to be able to use them for this spring and summer for this year. So I'm starting off with the straight edge cuticle pusher, which is one of my favorites. I do have this in my Etsy shop. Now for now, I haven't opened my Etsy shop. I hope in the next few days I will open it, which hopefully it's open by the time I put this video up. Either way, I'll have it linked below. But I am trying to take count of all my inventory for Etsy to make sure I update all the quantities, and I'm just trying to have a really good clean out of all my stuff so that I can be able to add more things and put more things out there. So this is one of my favorites due to how quickly and easy it is to remove all that stubborn cuticle, especially on my nail. I feel like no matter how often I do my nails, my cuticle grows all the way out to the middle of my nail if I don't really take care of it and push it back. And you can see I'm pushing back from like not even close to the cuticle. It's far from the nail. You can barely see it and you only see it when I push it back. All that little white stuff, that's all dead cuticle that's on my nail. So I'm trying to push that back, being as gentle as possible, but strong enough to lift it up and move it back. So that's the first step that I take to push everything back. This is one of the main reasons why there's any lifting. If you ever have lifting of the nail and it always starts from the back, it's always having to be the cuticle. Sometimes you don't see it because it's so stuck on the nail that you can't really see it, and some people start pushing back the cuticle far back where the eponychium is, so you miss out all that stubborn cuticle in the front. I wouldn't say the front, but the center of the nail, and that's what's gonna avoid you being able to attach any type of product or nail on top. It's gonna prevent it. It's gonna be something that's gonna be right underneath it, and it's gonna lift it up eventually. So you want to take your time on cleaning this out and pushing it back as much as possible, even if it takes you time. And in this video you will see that I do take, I think it's 3 steps. I push them back, then I use 2 nail bits, and then I use just a little buffing file to make sure that I take care of as much as possible so that I can prevent lifting. Usually my nails, from the times I've always done them, they've lasted me 3+ weeks. If anything, I get bored first and tired of having the design, the type of nails I have, so I have to take them off and switch them. So here I am just buffing the nail. I'm just taking off any shine from my actual nail and removing any other dust particles and cuticle that's left on my nail to make it a lot easier for me to be able to continue to the next steps. So some updates that I do have since my last 2 years. I think right before I made my last video here on YouTube, I was already at the job I am now, which I really do enjoy. I did move up in position and I really like it. It just came with a lot of responsibilities and a lot of studying and knowledge to absorb. So that took a lot out of me, and I had to focus and I had to be able to get back into making sure I give that my all because it is income that's coming to my home. And I just wanted to make sure that I give it my all, and as soon as I could jump back into YouTube, which I feel like I'm a lot better now. I feel like this is me time and it's allowing me to have my own, I don't know, fun time when I create anything and edit it and upload it. It's just, it's a it's a very enjoyable hobby that I have, that I appreciate to be able to have the skills to do any of this. And I feel like now I'm in the right mental state to be able to focus on this, and it's very exciting. This nail bit that I am using is a safety nail bit. It is for beginners and it's highly recommended for those of you that are using an electric nail file for the first time. I really do recommend this. You really can't hurt yourself. I am moving the camera here a lot, so I apologize for that. I'm moving the desk and it's moving the camera as I'm working. Um, but this one I really do highly recommend. You can get close and you won't cut your skin or your client's skin. The sharper ones and the one I'm using after this one are a lot more for people that have used it before, because they are easier to cut yourself with if you're not careful, and the grits of them are a lot higher as well. This blue is a medium. It is really soft when it comes to the edge. The round that you see right there at the end is very soft. There's no grit to that, so you won't hurt yourself. And this works really well for when you're doing a fill in or just starting from the beginning, because you can get as close as possible and really take care of that without hurting yourself. Also, I am using my just snipper here to take off any dead cuticle and any other stuff of my skin. I have a lot of hangnails and just dry skin that I'm just taking off. Um, Now, if you're working on clients, you do want to be very careful on using this. You should not be cutting on any of your live skin or your client's live skin, because that is dangerous and you can cause a lot of damage and trauma to the customer. On top of, you can pass on anything to them. So you want to just be very careful, follow your state board regulations and rules with that. This is just on my hands, what I prefer, what I like to personally do, and I like to get in there and make sure I get rid of everything as much as possible. So I have been looking at my YouTube videos, and just it's so cool how YouTube literally gives you graphs and information on just who watches your videos, for how long, which videos are the most popular, which videos are not popular at all. It just gives you all the information you need to be able to grow your channel and better it. And from what I have been seeing is that the most popular videos that I see are the dip nail videos. Any videos that are do it yourself at home videos, beginner nail tech videos, the polygel videos and press-on videos have been my most popular ones. So I think I'm going to stick to doing a lot of those, since those are the most commonly seen on my channel. Here I am using the nail bit that I was telling you guys about. This one's really, really great to get in there and get anything else that was left, especially the sidewalls and right close touching your eponychium. You really want to get in there, and it does a great job. Now you do want to be very careful. This is not a medium grit. This is a lot more harsher than that. So you want to be very gentle. And I have it on one of the slowest speed as possible. I never really work with anything high speed. There's no need, if you do a great job from the beginning on cleaning the nails, there's no need for you to be that harsh one to do that. The ring of fires where you can see dents of the nail going in because of how harsh things were filed. So you want to be very careful with that. And I am spraying a lint-free wipe and just cleaning everything off. Now I am going to measure all the sizes to make sure that they are correct. I did previously use these plenty of times, I think 3 or 4 times. I do feel the last 2 times I did use them, I used a size too small on my middle finger. So I'm just checking, double checking, triple checking. Even though I've used these before, I always double check to make sure that the sizes do fit me. So I do change it at the end. I get the bigger size for the middle finger, and the two smaller sides for my index and ring finger. So you will see that. And these I have not needed to etch the inside of the nails. Usually I do when I use just a clear gel press-on nails that I normally do all my nails on. I usually always etch them, or I buy ones that are etched already, which just means that they are filed behind to roughen it up a little bit to make it easier to stick onto the nail. But I haven't had a need to do that with these. They work really well by just adding the polygel or any type of gel you're using onto the nail tip, and once you apply the base onto your nail, they stick on pretty well. I have not had an issue of lifting. If anything, I just wanted them off the last time I did them, because I just didn't want to have nails, and I wanted to be able to not worry about breaking them or having to do a fill because it started to get to the point where they were growing way too fast because of all the vitamins I was taking. But now we're back at getting my nails done. I feel like not only do they look more professional, but they feel really nice. So this is the Pro Gel Base. This is different than just a regular base gel. This one's thicker consistency. This one's great for if you're doing any type of nail art, stickers, or foils. This is great to seal those, and then you would apply a top coat on top. This works amazing for press-on nails. It just helps put the nails together. So you could even just use this one thin layer on your natural nail first, and then you can go back in there and do another thicker layer and then apply the press-on if you would like. But I like a little bit more structure. I do type a lot. I use my computer for the full 8 hours that I work, so I want to make sure that I have as much as possible support in my nails. I'm not extremely hard on my nails, but I do tend to grab things with my nails how I shouldn't do. So I know myself, and I know it's better for me to use a structured gel to be able to support that. So I love using poly gel. So right now you do see me doing a very thin layer just on my natural nails, and this is done right away after I dehydrate my nails with alcohol. If you last more than 30 minutes, I would say re-dehydrate your nails. So if I'm working on this hand, I wouldn't dehydrate my right hand until I'm ready to put the gel on, just to make sure none of your natural oils come back to the surface, and then you'll avoid lifting in the future if you take your time and do it that way. So you just want to make sure. And you could tell my skin is so dry. It's so dry, my poor nails and skin. But I know I have to do cuticle oil. Once I put cuticle oil on, you'll see the difference. And it's just the cuticle oil I'm adding at the end for the pictures and the videos. And it makes a huge difference. I highly recommend using it twice a day. Is what I'm going to start doing, because you'll see a big difference on my future videos. Here I'm just using one of my regular brushes. This is just alcohol on the damping dish I have. And alcohol works great with any poly gel. It is great for the liquid. And this is the first gel I got. I will link it below, but I don't recommend it. I did not like it. I fought with it for a little bit, but it is a thicker consistency gel. I think this would be great for doing 3D arts, and it would be great for big chunky crystals or anything else other than using press-ons. I think a lot of the reviews on this type of gel said it was great for press-ons. I think it's too, it almost looks cured a little bit. It was just way too hard to work with. It didn't go well with the alcohol either. I usually don't have a problem working with gel and alcohol. And for this one, I look like a beginner. Like I had to check myself and humble myself a little bit. It has been a while since I worked on nails, so I think that didn't help. But this just made me realize that there's different products for different people, and not everybody likes the same thing. Even though this had amazing reviews, maybe it's just me and I didn't know how to use it. I got a bad batch. I do have another one. I did order 2 of them, but you can see how much I'm pressing down with this brush. I am pressing so much that the bristles are like flipping backwards, and it just comes right off when I add alcohol. I never had that issue with any type of gel product. So it was just very weird to me. I was thinking maybe I'm using too much liquid and it's not allowing it to stick, and maybe I needed to etch the back of the nail because this sticks better to something that's etched. So maybe that's another reason why. So there's so many factors. It could possibly not just be the product. It could be me. It could be the way I'm prepping it. So I wanted to try again the second time. I worked a little bit better, but it still was a little bit of a pain. My biggest no-no for using this one out of many that I have tried for press-ons is that once you pressed it down, it felt so secure and like it was gonna stay, and then it just moves right back up. So it never held its place. It didn't stay down. And that is very important when you're doing on these types of nails, especially for customers. Like for yourself, you can figure out a trick, and I'm still gonna use this product one way or another. I'm not gonna waste it. But when I was working with customers, I wanna make sure that it's easy, quick, for them. They're on their phones, they're either eating, at least my customers were, and then I had to figure out a way to not inconvenience them and myself. So I feel like with this product specifically, I had to keep pressing down because it kept lifting up, and if I cured it while it was lifting, there'll be a gap and it wouldn't seal as close as possible to the nail. So you will see me struggling, but finally, once I thought it was in a good place, I do a quick cure, which is just a flash cure, anywhere from 5 to 10 seconds, just to hold its place while you finish the rest of the nails, and then put them in the lamp to complete a full 2 to 3 minutes is what I do after all the nails are on, to fully cure the nails. But this is just a flash cure. I just wanted to make sure. It was so thick, I wasn't sure. This is the other gel that I used. I wanted to try both. I have my usual gels that I use, all the time in all my previous videos, and I tried different kinds, but I really wanted to try if I found a new favorites. This one I think I also got this one from Shein. Like I said, I will link as much information as possible down below in my video. This one is what I'm used to. It's more of what I'm used to, but even this one gave me a hard time when it first came out. I did a little bit of alcohol on the nail, let it dry, wanted to make sure that it will stick because maybe it's the etching. And you can use acetone if you don't want to sit there and etch with a drill bit or a file on the nail. You can just use acetone and it'll etch the back. I just had the acetone put away and I didn't want to go reach for it. So here I'm using more than what I should. I probably should have used half of this or a little bit more than half, but even then I struggled. It was a little bit thicker than I'm used to, but I feel like the moment I mixed the alcohol with it, it was so easy to work with. It did what I wanted it to do, and that's what I did like about this polygel. It's what the polygels that I'm used to working with, usually they work out this way. So you can see, barely pressing the bristles down compared to the previous nail, and it worked really, really great. Now, the problem with using too much polygel on a nail that you can't really see through, it will leak everywhere, and that's the issue that I had here. Once you could tell my fingers how much I pressed down on the nails, on my fingers. It marked it. Okay, here I'm pressing it down, and you can see that it's leaking through the front because it's way too much polygel that I used. And I just used the spatula part of the brush, which I do love these kind of brushes. They come with a lot of polygel sets, and I did get a lot of PR back then with a lot of these brushes, and I saved them all because they're my favorite. They're dual brushes. It's a brush on one side and a spatula on the other. They work amazing when you work with polygel. Here I'm putting gel on the next nail, and it's just, this one works so smoothly. I just got in the groove and was able to do what I'm supposed to do. I still used a little bit more gel than I'm supposed to use, but it worked so much better. And I do love that these press-ons specifically are not so transparent where you can see underneath it. I know there's some other ones where you can see where the gel stops and things like that. So with this one, I even think you can use a light pink polygel to give it more of a color pop on the nail. And here I did get a little fuzzy. My gloves were getting sticky, and that's one of the main reasons I use gloves when it comes to polygel, because it just gets so sticky, or any type of gel. So I just personally like to use at least one glove, or even when I do my nails completely and one hand is completed, I like to use gloves so that I don't damage it from filing my other hand, because that's the biggest way that I would damage my nails is when I was working on my clients' nails. My nails would be filed down on the sides and everything just from working on them. But yes, I do recommend this gel. I do like this one. I also like the Yoyogi, I think they're called. I'll link it down below. I have a bunch of polygels that I do like, and they're very easy to work with. Now you will find polygels that are very, very soft. Like they're too liquidy and they just move around. Those I don't personally prefer for this because they'll leak everywhere. And then if they get in the cuticle area, they're gonna lift eventually. Another life update is we bought our home about, I think it's going to be 2 years in the summer of this year of 2025. It's going to go for the 2 years. I think when I stopped also with the videos was when we were already in the process of purchasing our new home. So it was just a lot. It was a lot going on for that year, and a lot of things I had to take care of and focus on. And yes, we bought our dream home. I love my home. I love our space. We are very homebody people. Our fun time together is sitting down, eating, watching TV. That's our fun time together. Or exploring new places to eat, new restaurants. I feel like our home is something we already made ours, but it's just missing like the little touches, the little details. And that's usually what comes towards the like closer to being at your home for a few years. The decorating aspect, it's very white, so there's like white cabinets, white everything, very bright light in. I love that. Um, but we are sticking to like the more blue, the navy blue, the darker blues. I love those colors. So I think it's just figuring out, picture frames, doing a nice design, and I think focusing on our room. We have left our room to be the last because we wanted to make sure the boys had their room set up and they have their own rooms. So that's something that I'm really grateful that we're able to do for them, especially now that they're growing, into the teens. We want to make sure they have their own privacy, their own space, that they definitely deserve. So it's really nice to be able to do that. And now it's just, I guess, the fun part of it, the more expensive part of it after buying the home, and it's all the little details and decorating parts that that we're gonna get into. So if you have any ideas on picture frame setups, anything like that, let me know. Here I'm just going to cut off the little tips that are attached to the nails to have it in its set. I do clip these off instead of filing because I want to make sure when I file, I don't file too much. You want to make sure you do not file on top of these nails. These nails are, from what it looks like, it's like painted on top. So if you file the top, you will damage the design. That goes for the colored nails that they have as well, and for other ones I've seen that they have. So you want to be very gentle. You can buff on top. I've buffed the top of the nail if I accidentally got some gel on top of there, and it's fine. You just don't want to file on top of the nail. You want to make sure that you seal it with a top coat before you do any filing on top. So here I'm just, like I said, I'm filing the edges. I'm filing the side walls because my natural nails are long on some of these nails, so I want to make sure I take that down. You do, I mean, I think it'd be easier if you do clip off your nails and then put these on, but then sometimes the spillage gets attached to your skin in the back of the nails, and I can't stand that. So I always just leave my nails the size that they are, and then I just file them off where I need to file them. And here I am making them a little bit more of a round tip, closer to an almond round shape. I don't like them pointy at all. I like them a little bit more rounder, almost like an almond, but a little bit more round on the top. It's just what I prefer personally. If you want them sharper, you can definitely take in the sides a little bit more to get that nice sharp tip, but I don't. So it's very gentle, as you can see that I'm just taking off the front. And then here's where you can do any of the designs once you clean the nails with some alcohol. Alcohol does not affect the design. It did not take the pink or the white off of the nail. If you use acetone, it most likely will. I have not tested that theory yet, but it most likely will take away the design. So you want to be very careful on what you put on top of the nails because these are not sealed. Now you can seal it with the top coat. Do what you want to do on top, file, buff, make another design, and then top coat it again if you like. But I like to just work on the nail base to add any art or anything else that I want to add, and then top coat it. And as you can see here, there was a little bit of spilling polygel on the side. I just make sure I detach it from the skin and then go in there with the file a little slanted. You don't want to be directly standing up because you're gonna get some of that white and pink off of the nail if you do. So you want to be very careful. Take your time, whatever angles work to get rid of the gel without damaging the nails. I'm just going to brush off all the excess dust, and here's where I'm going to use stickers. That is the easiest way to do any type of art. If you have no time, energy, or talent to do art, you don't have to. You have stickers, you have nail foils, you have stamps. There's so many options to make it super easy and make it look really nice. I just use stickers. These seem like the type for the spring and Easter kind of vibe, so I thought that would be really pretty. And I just used all three different sizes, large, medium, and the small they had there to offer. I could have even used those little leaves and put them all around the nail, but we're trying to do something simple, quick, and easy, or at least as simple and quick and easy as possible, because I cannot just do a simple nail. I tend to add more stuff to it. So this is the simplest I can make it for DIYs at home. You can definitely exclude any of this design, any of these stickers and crystals and anything else I'm going to add to it, and just seal them with a top coat, whether it's glossy or matte, and you would be done. But you know, I have to be a little extra. And I'm adding the stickers. Now I am using my fingers to press down on the nails. I'm not sweating too much. I don't think I have too many oils, but if you're doing your client's nails, you have to make sure when you're pressing down, you're using a lip-free wipe, or you're using something in between that's not your fingers, because your fingers will still have oils. These are my own nails. It doesn't bother me. They seal. I haven't had any lifting, but when you're trying to do client's nails, you want to make sure you take that extra precaution because we don't know how their nails are, and we don't know how easily their nails can lift and get damaged. So we want to prevent that. Now I'm using one of my favorite top coats, and I mean, this is the base coat. My bad. It's the base coat. It's the eye gel. I love eye gel beauty polishes. I like their polishes. I like their top coat. I especially love their base coat, which is great for sealing any stickers or nail art foil or any chunky glitter. It works really great to seal it. after I do both of these nails and put this base coat on. It's a base coat. I use it to seal it. I will then cure this for 30 seconds, and after that I will do a top glossy coat. Now you can also do a top matte coat if that's what you're going for. This is just a nail foil gel. It is just a very sticky gel. It's not really glue. I know the title says glue, but it's not. You have to cure this. So you cure it in the lamp. Sometimes the design will come out a little yellow, like it gives a little background of yellow when you do clear nails. So don't freak out after a few seconds to a minute. It will take away the yellow and get back to being clear. It's just how it is. I freaked out when I used this on one of my clients for the first time ever, but no, it goes away. Once we were ready to take the pictures, it was back to clear, and I was like, okay, I'm able to breathe. But yes, so I put that on first, which I shouldn't have. I should have put that after I decided with the crystals, but right before I was gonna do the pretty glitter on that nail, I decided I needed crystals. I couldn't just do the nails without any type of crystals because that's just who I am. But like I said, you can avoid this and not use that. This is just a wax pencil, and these are just, I think they're size 7 and size 8 crystals that I'm using. The 8 are the two in the middle, and the 7s are the two on the edges. And that's all I'm using. I'm waiting for the glue to dry once I apply these crystals, and this will probably be the last nail that I seal, just because I want to make sure the glue is fully dry before I add a top coat. The color of the crystals I am using are AB clear crystals. They're one of my favorite ones just because depending on the color that you have, once the light hits them, the reflection of the color you get is very close to the color you're wearing. So like if I have more pink on my nails, more pink will show. If I have more purple will show, and so on in that way. So they're one of my favorite ones. They just, to me, they're the prettiest ones than just regular like the clear ones or pink ones or anything like that. These are my favorite ones. Another fun thing that has happened in the last 2 years, well, actually, in the last year, is we got a puppy. Her name is Iris. She is a blue merle golden doodle. She is size medium, and that's big to me, medium. She is a sweetheart. She was a little wild when she was little. She just turned 1 on February 5th. We did take her in March 28th of last year, so she has been with us for a year. Her adoption year just happened 2 days ago, and we did celebrate her birthday. I just haven't posted anything up, but I will. I'm just very late to posting any family or events that happen in my life. Here we are using a really pretty iridescent glitter. It's like a mica glitter. It's so pretty. And this I'm just gonna rub on the nail on the sticky base gel that I used. It's really nice for that because it sticks very well. And this just gives it an extra, I don't know, spark to my nails. And I'm brushing it off very gently because you don't want to rub it really crazy, and just top coating the nail. After that, I do 2 top coats on every single nail. If I use a base coat on top of the nail, then I make sure I just do 1 top coat so that the nail is not chunky or thick. This is the end of the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you like the end results of these nails. There will be a lot more to come. Please let me know down below of any videos that you would be wanting to see. I am here to put those out there, to enjoy doing these videos for you guys, and to continue doing what I love to do. And I'm very grateful for all the views and everyone who has been here with me from the beginning. I appreciate you, and I will see you on my next video. Thank you guys.